You suck at empathy, man. What? Here I am spilling my guts about losing my job, and you're just like, I'm really sorry about your job. I empathize deeply. I'm just not terribly demonstrative. Then you're not being empathetic. Or you're looking for a certain kind of empathy that's just harder for some people. You just don't care enough. Do you know there's 4 types of empathy? Oh, here we go. What? And I bet some kinds of empathy is unique to autistics. Yes and no, but I mean, can I tell you what they are and you just tell me what you think? Fine. So how do you normally think of empathy? Like, for starters, to understand what the other person is going through. Cognitive empathy, sometimes referred to as perspective taking, but it's understanding someone's point of view and what they might be thinking and how they might be behaving because of their circumstance. Okay, so you have to have cognitive empathy to have any. You sure? If a woman loses her right to an abortion, can you really know what it's like from her perspective? I mean, not totally, no, but like I could vote to make sure that doesn't happen. Right, and that's responsive empathy, where you take action in response to someone else's situation. There's 2 kinds. One is works, or action that works to alleviate the problem directly, so like voting to keep abortion rights. And the other is consoling, and there's 2 types of consoling. One is verbal, so you're like, oh, hey man, I really empathize. And the other is physical action, like a compassionate touch. Well, that all sounds like it covers it. You said there were 4. People in the neuromajority tend to find cognitive empathy and responsive empathy to be more their default. But many people among neurominorities, like autistics and ADHD, like me, can struggle with them and instead default to affective empathy and somatic empathy, which the neuromajority often struggle with. Try me. So affective empathy, sometimes called emotional empathy, is when you internally feel what the other person is feeling. Oh, that's kind of like what they mean when people describe being an empath? But you don't do that. You just sit there while I pour my guts out. Just because I may be intensely feeling what you're feeling, I might not show any outward sign of it. A lot of us shut down externally when we experience too much affective empathy. It's one reason why going out in public is so hard. I'm picking up the emotions of everyone around me. Okay, that'd be enough to shut me down, right? And it's even worse for those of us who experience somatic empathy. Do I want to know? Somatic empathy is when the body has an autonomic physical response to the other person's emotions. So like blushing to embarrassment, sweating, elevated heart rate, shortened breathing. Oh, that was you being empathetic? I thought you were just irritated. No, and it's not something I can control. My heart rate might just spike and I have to write it out. And somatic empathy can also trigger things like fidgeting and hand flapping, echolalia, and other stemming. It can also do tics or a complete nervous system overload leading to disassociation. Disassociation. It's when your body and nervous system is experiencing the stress, but your conscious mind and ability to feel emotion goes blank. Like, my body is still feeling it, but my brain shuts down the displays that alert my consciousness that I'm feeling those emotions. That's intense. Yeah. Okay, so when I was telling you about losing my job, my body and my emotions responded as if I had just lost my job. Oh, damn, that's some heavy empathy. No wonder you couldn't respond. Thanks, yeah, and it's important to recognize that anyone may be empathetic or unempathetic in any or all of the 4 empathies. I get it. So the neuromajority, as you call it, is just more likely to experience empathy through cognitive empathy and responsive empathy. And some neurominorities are more likely to experience empathy in affective and somatic ways. Exactly.